Hello everyone, it's SpawnPoiint and welcome to my 2021 TV setup tour. So it's been about 6 months since I shared my last TV setup and quite a lot has changed since then. Now obviously most of us are spending more time at home these days watching TV and gaming, so hopefully this video will be of interest to you. I'm going to cover everything that's in my setup, including the TV, the PS5, the Xbox, my cable management and my custom built unit. Now everything is also linked in the video description in my kit list, so if there is something of interest you can check that out. So if you've seen any of my recent PlayStation or Xbox videos, or you follow me on Instagram, you'll already know that I've recently changed my TV, and I've gone for the 77-inch C10 OLED by LG, and it's absolutely incredible. It's definitely the best TV that I've ever had. Now this replaces the 86 Nano 91 TV that I had before, and then before that I had the 55-inch C9 OLED. So it's hard to get an idea of how big this TV is, and in most pictures and videos that I share, it kind of looks like a 65-inch. Now it doesn't help that my speakers and my unit are massive as well, so the TV kind of looks in kind of proportion to it. Now I guess this can of Pepsi, for reference, might help, I'm not really sure. What about this PS5? We all know that the PS5 is massive, yet the TV makes it look tiny. But anyway, the picture quality on this is insane, it's so good. Now I mostly use it for gaming and Netflix and movies, and the black levels are nearly perfect on this. There's no real compromise when watching dark scenes at all. So it's a 4K screen and it supports Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, as well as HDR10 and HLG Pro. So pretty much everything that you need unless you want 8K. And it's also next gen ready, so it's perfect for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X because it's got HDMI 2.1, 120Hz, auto low latency mode, VRR and G-Sync. Oh, and it's also got HDR gaming, so if you are playing any games that support this, this is definitely the mode that you want to enable. So yeah, it's probably one of, if not the best TVs out there at the moment for gaming, which is perfect for my casual gaming needs. So it actually cost me about £3,500 or $4,600, and that was in the sale last year, so it's not cheap, but the quality of this TV is insane. So I know a few have asked how far do I sit from this TV? Well, I sit 10 feet, and that's 10 feet from the sofa to the screen. It feels quite immersive and it looks great, I have no regrets at all, and it's definitely a lot more enjoyable to watch this screen compared to the 86 and the 55 that I had before. So I've obviously wall mounted it again, and it gives it that kind of floating TV look. And for those interested, I actually have the TV 90mm above the unit, which I think looks perfect. Now I have got it on a cheap Amazon mount, and I got this for about £25 or $30 or so. It'll easily hold over 40 kilos, and as this TV is about 26 kilos, it's absolutely fine on here. Now the reason that I didn't go for a mount that was flush to the wall was because I have these lights behind it, as you can tell. Now these are the LIFX Z strip, and it creates a nice glow, like a nice ambient glow. Plus it also means that because I've gone for a tilt bracket, it obviously means I can pull the TV away from the wall if I want to change the ports or swap any cables out. So these are the lights that I've got stuck to the back of the TV, and I can customize these to any color combo, any shade of white or any brightness. Now I usually have them set to white during the day, which brightens the room up and it gives it that kind of nice, kind of clean, minimalist look. And then on a night I have it set to kind of like a retro 80s theme going on. And it massively helps with eye fatigue as well when gaming, and it obviously sets a nice mood as well. Now this is a 5-meter strip of LIFX's Z strip, and it's stuck to the back of the TV and it kind of curls around the edges. And I've also got a couple of other LIFX bulbs in floor standing lamps around the room, and both these lamps are from IKEA, but all the bulbs, they sync with the TV as well, so when you create a theme, the TV and the two bulbs all kind of create that same mood. So at a press of a button or a voice command, I can go from having a nice clean white minimal looking room into a full retro RGB vibe. Now I like both, but what do you think? Which one do you prefer, the kind of the white clean look or the RGB look? So you may have noticed that there are no cables at all going from the TV leading to the cabinet underneath. And that's because I've hidden them inside the wall. So if you saw my TV setup build video last year, you'll see that I had a channel chased into the brick wall and I put a plastic tube inside. And that lets me feed the HDMI cables through when I want to swap them out. Now I have an entrance at the top, directly behind the TV, and then I've got an exit one at the bottom behind the cabinet. So swapping the cables out is really easy. And I also had a power socket installed behind the TV, so I never need to pull the power cable through the wall, say for example if I change the TV again. So about 5 years ago, I wanted a TV unit that would fit all of my equipment in that I had, but I just couldn't find one that I liked. So I went away, I designed it myself, I found a local joiner and they built it for me. And it cost me about £550 or $750. And as you can see, it's pretty flush to the wall, and that's because I've actually cut the skirting boards behind it so it fits right up against the wall. And then on the shelf here, I've got some PlayStation icons, and these are made out of wood. It's walnut, and they were made by Geek Made Designs. And I think it adds like a nice bit of warmth to the pretty grey setup. And here's my center channel, this is my center speaker, and this is a Monitor Audio Bronze, which I've had for a couple of years now, and the sound and the clarity is awesome on this. Okay, so here is the PS5. Now this is definitely my favourite console at the moment. I did a quick unboxing last year and it's now passed over 1 million views, which is absolutely mental. But I'm really enjoying the PS5. I play it most days in my spare time, including games like Cold War and Dirt 5 and various others. But I've got quite a few games on it already. Now the biggest issue for me though with this console is the lack of storage. I mean, I've only got like 9 or 10 games on here already, and it's already maxed out. Now, I've also got a 1TB SSD plugged into the back. Now, this is used, and it can only be used at the moment to store my old PS4 games, and they're the ones I never got around to finishing. And with the PS5, I'm using the Astro A20 Gen 2 headset, and this is a great headset. I actually did a review on it a couple of months ago. I'm really enjoying it over the Pulse 3D that I was using before. But yeah, I absolutely love playing the PS5 on this TV. It's a perfect sweet spot for the size. It really is. Now, in before the "it'll overheat" comments, it's fine. The console really is fine on the shelf. There's loads of room. It never gets hot. I mean, it's obviously been sat here for about 3 months now with no issues at all. Now, I have been thinking of moving it to where the Xbox is over here. Now, I'm not sure though, because I like the look of it under the TV. And my worry is if I move it from the TV, it obviously takes away from that setup. But what do you think? Do you think it looks fine here under the TV? Or do you think it looks better over here on the shelves? Let me know in the comments which one you prefer. So something else you'll notice is the hole where the speaker used to be on the right is now just a door, and I actually made that at the end of last year. Now inside here, this is where I actually store my controllers. So I've got 2 charging docks in here. I've got the charging dock for the PS5, and this is the official one for Sony, and I've got the Xbox charging dock as well, so I've got a couple of controllers in there. Now this obviously keeps them out of sight. Now the Xbox one that I'm using, it's probably the best looking dock out there at the moment, and it's made by a company called Power A, and I absolutely love the look of this. So it comes with 2 battery packs and 2 rear cases as well, and that will fit both the original Xbox One controller, and it will fit the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S controllers as well. Plus it looks really, really nice. I think it looks nice with the setup, and the LEDs, they change between orange and white when it's charging. So looking inside the rest of the cabinet, I've got a 5-port gigabit switch, and this is used to provide a wired connection to everything that I've got in here. Then I've got these 2 white boxes. Now these are the hubs for my Hive heating and my Philips Hue lights. Now I don't actually have many Hue lights left in the house now because I've moved most of them across to LIFX. So once I do the final few, I can get rid of this hub. And the same as last year, I still buy most of my games digitally. Now these are the only physical games that I have. So I've got a few steelbooks here that I really like the look of. Now digital for me just makes so much more sense. It's easier to switch between games. It's quicker for me to obviously purchase those and get them a little bit earlier sometimes. And the cost factor of reselling is kind of irrelevant if I never sell a game. Then I've got the original Nintendo Switch here, pretty much docked all of the time now. It never kind of leaves this cabinet. And it's not used a great deal these days, but it's awesome for games like Mario Kart and Ring Fit that I recently picked up, and party games mainly. But I'm still using a couple of carry cases, and these are from Satisfy. So powering the speakers in my room, I'm using the OnQ 686, and this is a 7.1 receiver. Surprisingly, it never gets hot, even sat in this unit every single day with the doors closed. Now I run everything to the TV for video, and then down to the AVR for audio, and that's via eARC. Now what's great about this is it's got AirPlay and Chromecast built in, so it means I can actually group them with my Google Home speakers. Also, I'm using one of these magic eyes, and it means that I can actually control the amp without having to open the doors. So I can change the ports and I can do the sound. Now this little eye sits in front of the AVR, as you can see here at the bottom, and then the other end is actually stuck to the front speaker, and that's what I can control using my remote. So talking about the speakers, I'm using the Monitor Audio Bronze range, and they look and sound incredible. So everything that I watch or listen to just sounds awesome, and fortunately for me, I live in a detached house, which means I don't have any neighbours that I need to annoy when I obviously turn it up. Now I've got the centre channel here, which I showed before, then I've got these 2 Bronze 2 speakers either side. Height-wise, they are perfect. They are set at about 60 centimeters off the ground. So the right speaker is on a Mission Stand-Sit stand, if that's how it's pronounced. And they are made from metal, and they have spikes at the bottom as well. Obviously, they're linked in the kit list. Now, they also have really good cable management. So the actual speaker cable itself goes through the pipe itself. So it's obviously hidden out of sight. Then at the back, I've got the Bronze 1 speakers. Now, these are wall-mounted on some swivel brackets, and they're just above ear height. And these brackets are solid. I mean, I think these could easily hold the Bronze 2 speakers as well. And then next to the right speaker, I've got this nice plant in a plant stand from Marks & Spencer's. This is the large version, and it adds a nice bit of colour to the corner and looks quite minimal as well. It doesn't need much water, which is great for me because it means it's almost impossible for me to kill it. But yeah, I'm really happy with these speakers. They look great, they sound great. I don't have a sub. That's something that I noticed people have mentioned before. I will get one. I'm probably going to look at getting one this year. Maybe a monitor audio one as well. Maybe drop some suggestions in the comments if there's any that you recommend. Then looking at the Xbox Series X. Now originally I was going to have this placed under the TV where the PlayStation icons are, but as soon as I popped it on the shelf I knew it looked so much better here. So although I mainly play on the PS5 most days, I still play on this a couple of times a week, mostly on games like Forza Horizon or any games on Game Pass that I fancy trying out. So I've obviously got a couple of controllers. I've got the original black one that came with the console and I've got the blue one as well. As for the cables, I've actually hidden them under the carpet. So there's an extra long, which is 4 meter in length, HDMI 2.1 cable, and that goes under the carpet, it goes behind the unit, up through the wall, and then into the TV. Obviously these are not the original HDMI cables that came with the console, but I've linked to the ones that I'm using in the kit list. So you might be wondering where my PS4 has gone, the 500mm PS4 Pro that I used to have. Well, I've still got it. I've actually moved it into the bedroom now, along with the 55-inch C9. It never gets turned on, I very rarely play it, but I didn't want to sell it, and I didn't really want to just box it up and stick it up in the loft. So it will sit here on the odd chance I just fancy playing it one day. So these shelves get a lot of interest and a lot of comments over on my Instagram account, and I've had them for about 3 years now, and I really like the look of them. So they've got solid wood with a black frame, and I think it adds like a nice bit of warmth to the room. Now it's really big and it's solid as well, so it measures 135 centimeters wide by 185 centimeters tall, and it's really well made. Now it cost me £500 or about $680, so it's not cheap for some shelves, but this has and will last me a long time. So I just use these shelves to display random items, to be honest. I change it up from time to time, but here's what I've got on it at the moment. Most of it's PlayStation merch actually. So here's the Ellie statue from The Last of Us Part 2, and this was part of the collector's edition. I've got my PlayStation glass at the top, and this is the headset that I'm currently using. So this is the Astro A20 Gen 2s. Now I'm tempted to try out the new Steel series. I think it's the 7P. Let me know in the comments what headset you're using and if it's worth me trying those out. And then here's my original childhood N64 console, complete with GoldenEye. So if you followed me on Instagram for a while, you'll know that this has always been featured in my setups almost since the start. And this is easily my all-time favourite game and all-time favourite console. And this is the Harman Kardon Citation 1, and I use this for voice commands and playing the odd lo-fi beats during the evenings or when I'm not watching TV. So as my controllers are all in the unit on their charging docks, this is now the only controller that I have on display. And this is the 20th anniversary PS4 controller, and it's placed on one of these wooden stands by Geek Made Designs. Absolutely love this. And then there's just some other random items on here, like a wooden table football set, some fake plants, and not much else really to show you. And as for the cables and the wires, I've actually hid and stuck them to the back of the metal frame, and it means it keeps them all out of sight. So the two speakers I've got here, and obviously the Xbox, it means when you look at it, you can't see any cables at all. So I've obviously got a sofa opposite the TV, that's where I sit, I don't just sit on the floor. But I really don't like it, and it's why I've practically never featured it in any posts on Instagram, in no videos on here, but I have ordered a new one. So in about 15 weeks I will have a new sofa. It's nothing special, but it means I can start showing the other side of my room. Now I do have this nice Sherlock chair, and this is from Next. It's in like a tweedy grey fabric, and it's got a button back as well, and it's so comfy for chilling out. I'm actually literally sat in this chair right now editing this video. Also, I've got this cable knitted footstool, and this kind of moves around the room depending on where I want to use it, but I really like the look of this. So something that I've often shown in photos, but never a video, is this coffee table. Now this I've had for about 8 years now, and it was from a company called Barker and Stonehouse. I think it cost me about £300 or £400 back then. Now I really like the look of it, it's massive though, it really is. But I've actually been wanting to change it for the last couple of years, but I still haven't found a table that's kind of as nice looking or as solid. So that's it, that's my room, that's a quick update for 2021 since the last tour that I did about 6 months ago. And a few things have changed, but it's not finished either. So this year we'll see a new sofa, it's going to see some panelling on the walls behind that sofa, possibly new speakers and a sub, and maybe a new table as well, but that's about it. I can't think of anything else that I really want to change in here now. Overall, I'm really happy with the changes that I've made to this room. It's exactly what I wanted. It's kind of a perfect place to chill out, watch movies and game. And if you've made it this far in, well, you've just made it to the end. So thank you. If you drop a 2021 TV setup in the comments, I'll give you a thumbs up, as I know you've made it to the end. And if you liked it, please hit that like button, as it obviously helps me out. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Until next time.